I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
This episode of Coffee Combos is brought to you by Lomi by Pila. Visit lomi.com/coffeecombos.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Lindsie.
Why do you sound so calm?
I got up this morning, even though I was so fucking tired. I had a really hard time waking up, but obviously my kids needed me. And then once I got them situated, got them to school, whatever, I came home, I made my bed, I cleaned my bathroom, I got some stuff done. I went over my plants, got all the dead stuff off, watered them, misted some of them, and I just feel like it changed my mood for the whole day. Even if something went wrong, I would be okay.
Okay, first of all, back up, because I'm having the shittiest morning of mornings. Before this recording, I had to go and get Pepto. I am convinced that I have some type of gluten intolerance, and I'll tell you why. Every single time that I eat bread to any capacity at this point, I puke.
Oh.
Literally, I will just start throwing up. The only other time I have developed intolerance is whenever I was pregnant with Jackson, and it was intolerance to lactose.
How interesting. So when you say gluten in bread, do you get sick when you eat pasta too?
So I don't really eat that much pasta, so I haven't noticed it that much.
Right.
I'm more of greens, vegetables, meat.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do eat bread, it makes me feel so sick. I ate a sausage biscuit from Chick-fil-A yesterday morning. No one come for me. If you have not tried a sausage biscuit from Chick-fil-A, you absolutely need to. Will claims the best sausage biscuit is from Bojangles. Do y'all have a Bojangles?
No, we don't.
And my girlfriend Caroline swears by that too, but it's kind of more Cajun style, and it's just not my vibes. So anyway, went and got the biscuit, immediately kind of started feeling not sick, but a little bit unwell.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ate something else with bread in it yesterday afternoon, and then I've just been puking. So that's been a fun morning for me, and you sound like you have it all together. So we have definitely switched roles this morning.
Well, I mean, I don't have it all together because I made the mistake of letting Lux's hair kind of go wild for a couple days. And so he was almost late to school this morning. Basically made it by the skin of his teeth, but I really pride myself on not making my kids late. But he got in on time. So I don't have it all together, but I want to just maybe suggest taking the food sensitivity from Everlywell, because I texted you over the weekend. And I told you I got my results from the food sensitivity one, and this is not an ad, very surprised by my own results. I kind of knew I was lactose intolerant. I knew that. So I'm not really surprised by that. I do have a sensitivity to cow's milk, also egg whites specifically.
That's so weird.
So weird. Just the egg whites, which I thought was good. And I don't remember ever having feeling unwell or shitting my pants or anything after eating eggs. But I don't really remember, because I kind of you don't really eat a whole lot of pasta. I don't really eat a whole lot of eggs. And then what really surprised me is that I did react to chicken.
That is so weird. But do you feel like you ever react to chicken when you eat it?
Well, I did get chicken the other day. It was probably last week. The kids are always starving to death when they get home from when I pick them up from school. And so sometimes they'll want to stop and get food on the way home. And I got fried chicken from this place, and immediately, I'm talking within minutes, almost shit myself. But that could have been the chicken sensitivity, but it also could have just been the fact that it was a new place and it was fried. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I get that with fried chicken too. That's weird. Okay, well, I'll take it and let you know. Outside of that, can very much relate to you as a mom when you have no choice but to get up because your child like needs you and you're the responsible person. So like you're the only person that's going to do it. So you have to. There's been so many days that I'm just like, what I would give to just be able to lay in this bed.
Yeah. Just for one day or half a day could be a game changer.
I wonder if I'm going to get to do that at all over the next couple of days. I'm taking the next couple of days off of work and couldn't be more excited, honestly.
Well, I hope that you get the rest that you are wanting. I don't plan on resting.
Wait, why? What are you planning on doing?
There's so many things that I want to get done around my house while my kids aren't home. The big kids went to their dad's yesterday, and then Lux and Creed are going to Chris's on Friday. And they're going to be gone for the entire Christmas break. So there's just so much that I want to get done, get organized, like while they're gone.
I can very much relate to that because I do feel like when you don't have, for me, it's just Jackson, but for you, like all of your kids, have them tearing up as fast as you're cleaning up. It makes it so much nicer when you can just like focus on the things and not focus on what they're tearing up that you're going to have to clean up after you've focused on what you're trying to get accomplished.
It's crazy because my house could be spotless and then literally within 5 to 10 minutes from my kids coming home from school, just from backpacks and shoes and coats and homework spread out all over the place, it looks like a bomb went off within 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, I need to know if other moms go through their kids' backpacks every day after school.
Oh, I do immediately. As soon as he gets home, I go through it. Him, specifically Lux, I have to check it myself. Isaac and Lincoln, they unpack it for me. Like they'll put it in front of me so that I can see it.
Okay, I don't remember my parents ever doing this, like going through my backpack. Like maybe they did, but I don't remember it. I go through there and take out any like rogue papers that are like loose leaf in there, pencils where we don't really know who they belong to or if he found it like at carpool. Clean out his lunchbox because he always packs lunch every day, and take out all of the millions of papers that come home from school on a weekly basis. Like I do that every single day, and I never remember my parents doing that.
First of all, my mom never checked my book bag, never came to school events, never helped me with homework, never washed my backpack. I don't even know if she bought me a backpack. Like nobody checked my stuff. That was me on my own. So yeah, no, but I make sure, I mean, I even get on Isaac's school account, like his online account, and I check what assignments he's completed, if he hasn't handed any in. Like I check everything.
I love that so much. Jackson hates whenever
he hates it.
Will and I get on there. And I'm like, literally, you're in third grade. Like, what do you think we're going to find on here? Actually, there's a really funny story. So he took this test. It was like a unit test, some type of like history test or something like that. And I asked him, I was like, how do you think you did? And he was like, really well, 50 out of 100 so far. And I was like, huh?
You're like, the math's not mathing. That's not really well.
I was like, how did you get 50 out of 100? He was like, whoa. Some of it was on the computer and it's quick grade. So you just get those points. So far I got 50. And then she grades the other. And I'm like, I certainly hope whenever I log onto this account that like the total point is not 50, or else I'm going to be very upset.
It's so crazy though, because I feel like, back when we were in school, nobody had access. So it's like, if you don't tell your parents something, or you don't bring something physically home for your parents or your caregiver, your guardian, they had no way of knowing unless they called the teacher. Like, I don't even know if they had email, at least not when we were in elementary school.
Oh, like, do you remember back in high school where I'm probably acting like we invented this, but like it was going on way before us, I'm sure, where your parents never sign the first thing, you sign it. So everything from that point forward is their signature, but it's like yours.
Wait, what?
So like, you know, when you're in school and you get your syllabuses home, and your parents like sign that, send it back to the school, like first, whatever. They have a record of your parents' signature. The teacher does. But if you sign it as them, then when you fail a test, then you just sign as them again and no one knows because it matches Because the math be mathin'.
I don't know about that because I don't remember my mom signing anything or me signing anything.
Did your school just like not require it?
I don't remember. Like, I remember the syllabi.
Syllabi.
The syllabuses, the syllabi. I remember signing them on my own, but is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but like your parents were supposed to sign them. Like,
oh no, my mom never signed a syllabi or a syllabus ever in my high school career. My mom was completely checked out, tapped out, gave up, disowned me. I don't fucking know. My mom did not associate with me in high school. She was not interested.
No, let me tell you, my school sent an automated message to the house phone.
Mm.
So when you got report cards, your parents knew they were coming home.
Mm. See, we get that now. We have the automated, the school system calls my phone and sends a text message. And it's like an automated pre-recorded, so-and-so's schools were sent home with progress reports or sent home. Or they're now available on home access and they let us know. And so then I know when to check for a report card. I mean, I check it almost every day. But yeah.
Let me tell you, Jackson gives not one single fuck about a report card. Like, not one. He couldn't find a fuck.
He couldn't find a fuck.
Back in the day when I brought home report cards, listen, I was sweating all day knowing, like, I was sweating the days before knowing that the report card was about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Sweating knowing it was in my backpack. Sweating knowing that I was getting close to the house in the car. Because my dad was going to be sitting in his office as always, probably already picked up the call from the school, from the automated message, letting him know that it's coming home as if he needed to be reminded. Yeah, just not a fan. And actually, I bamboozled my parents when I was in 6th grade. I had this one friend. Her name was Elizabeth. She had no siblings, so only child. Mm-hmm. And I played with her all the time.
Right.
Her parents were older. My parents like really trusted them, let me go over there all the time. So I made bad grades on my progress report. And so I left all my progress reports in my locker at school. And I told Elizabeth, I was like, I know that you're a Rhodes Scholar and stuff, but like you can't show your parents your grades because my parents will start talking to your parents and they'll know that it came home. And then they're going to wonder where mine is. And I'm like not ready to face this day.
Oh, fuck. So what happened?
Oh, I got busted in it. I straight up got busted in it because Elizabeth's parents, obviously she was a smart person. And I wasn't. And so they knew like when it was coming home. So they knew. So then they talked to my parents about it. And my progress reports were in my school locker.
Oh, no. Oh, no. My mom didn't ever ask me about my grades. She didn't give a fuck. So y'all know that I have blonde hair. From curling and straightening to hairspray and over bleaching, I've done some damage to my hair over the years. So if you're like me and you struggle to have longer hair and thicker hair because of the damage, give Vegamore a try. You will not believe it. They have transformed my hair. They have a holistic approach to hair health, and they use smart botanicals that promote visibly thicker, fuller, longer looking hair. And I definitely want that going into the new year and preparing for summer. We all want that like healthy, beautiful looking hair without harmful chemicals.
So actually today is one of my favorite days because it is hair washing day for me. And I love Vegamore. I've been using them for a decent amount of time now. And I love that the product does not have harmful chemicals. So they're cruelty free, never contain parabens or hormones. And really, I can tell a huge difference in my natural hair's health. The GRO Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner Kit works really well together. And it's going to help create visibly thicker hair and improve hair from the roots. So just as normal, you just massage the shampoo into your scalp for 60 seconds, follow up with conditioner. It's as simple as that. I love mine so much. I have it in my travel kit that I plan to take to Nashville with me. And then also in my shower. I love to use this every time that I wash my hair. It is a game changer for my overall hair health. And with Vegamore, there is no risk when trying because you have a 90-day money-back guarantee. And I love products like this, you guys are going to love it, with 91% of customers saying they saw visibly thicker hair with Vegamour in just 3 months. You're not going to want to run out. Don't let the damage of your past hold your hair back. See your hair's full potential with Vegamour. Go to vegamour.com/coffeeconvos and use code coffeeconvos to save 20% on your first order. That's vegamour.com/coffeeconvos, code coffeeconvos to save 20% at vegamour.com/coffeeconvos. I want to read one of these things from the Facebook group.
Okay.
So it says, holiday time sharing question. You had mentioned the kids going, so I was like, this is perfect. I was on another group thread, and there was a discussion about someone's parents wanting to stay the night for Christmas to spend Christmas Eve and morning with the kids. This original poster said that she loves her parents, but when they are around, original poster gets shoved to the background. So original poster said no. Original poster said parents were pissed and she felt terrible. Most people in the thread said that they would love to have that time with grandparents and she should be grateful. So my question, do you want or let grandparents in on all of the Christmas holiday magic? Do you designate time, or do you hard pass and go with just immediate family? We like to change it up annually, but usually we hard pass and just keep it small.
Oh my God, that makes me so sad. I went to my grandparents on Christmas Eve growing up. And like I said before on another podcast, just so that it's not confusing, my mom made sure to show up and show out like she was the best fucking parent on holidays and holidays only. So Thanksgiving and Christmas, my mom was mom of the year. Christmas Eve, no matter where I was at the time, would come get me and make sure that I go to my grandparents for Christmas Eve. And we would do that. That was our tradition growing up until my grandparents got really sick. And I absolutely loved going to my grandparents on Christmas Eve. And we would be there until late at night and then go home, do the reindeer food that my cousins would make me. Every year they gave me reindeer food to put out for the reindeer. And then on Christmas morning, we would go to my great grandmother's and the entire family was there. And it was literally probably until I was 13, 14 years old, no person in my family, meaning my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, nobody missed it. Like it was required. Like there's no other option. We were at Nana's Christmas Day. And so that makes me really sad that anyone would not include their grandparents.
Me too, because growing up, when my parents were still on like a 50-50 custody split before my dad moved to Atlanta, we lived in South Carolina, and they were sharing 50-50. We would always go to my biological mom's grandmother's on Christmas Eve, and did that for like a long period of my life. But then whenever we moved, Julie's parents also moved to Atlanta as well. So we kind of started a new tradition where we would do finger foods and her parents would come to our house or we would go to their house, but it was always with them every year on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, my dad's parents came to our house when we were opening presents. And I couldn't imagine like growing up any differently from that. Right.
Like it feels weird to like not have extended family involved. And I don't know. I know I don't do anything now, but it kind of feels weird hearing that she says we like to change it up annually. Like I think that would bother me.
So I was actually talking about this on the Southern Tea yesterday, that the older that I have gotten, the less I care about like sticking to like specific traditional stuff. Like if something works better one year and didn't work last year and might not work the next year, like I'm growing accustomed to being okay with that. But also I do like some traditional things. Like I could not imagine spending my holidays any differently than we did growing up. I don't know. It's just like weird. And even with Will's parents, like we always did Christmas Day with them whenever I was married to him. So it was really hard for me last year, even though I did spend Christmas with my parents. We always spent Christmas Day with Will's parents, and I had Jackson last year, but I felt a sense of guilt because I was like, Jackson normally sees them on Christmas Day. And even though my life changed, I did feel a little guilty for him not having that same tradition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But long story short, I think grandparents should always be involved.
Yeah, totally. If you have grandparents around and involved in your lives and your kids' lives, I say definitely involve them.
While we're on holiday, we put together some holiday icks. And I want to know which one you are. And if these things what is it like?
Give me the ick.
Give you the ick. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is receiving a gift that was thoughtless. Ick.
That's an ick. That's definitely an ick. And I actually, despite not doing Christmas, like the whole thing, the twin cousins that made me the reindeer food every year, we still have always given our kids, like sent gifts for our kids every year. One of the twins had started sending my kids gifts. I sent her kids gifts. And then the other twin I texted and I was like, hey, like, is there something that the kids specifically want? Or just gift cards? And she's like, honestly, like, let's just skip the gifts this year because I agree. Like, and she even said, like, you don't want just like more stuff. I was like, I agree. Like, if it's going to be thoughtless or junk and you're just doing it just to do it, like, no, let's not do it. So yeah, that's an ick.
We're going to go back to our original saying of, I don't like getting gifts or receiving them, but I think that's come with age too.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And it gives me the ick all around.
And like having your own home, I think like changes too. Like I used to love to get like Bath and Body Works shit from everybody if I was like cluttering up my parents' closet at their house. But like, I don't want to clutter up my shit here. So
I just cleaned out my bathroom and my room this morning. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that.
Yeah. Like I don't love it. But a thoughtless gift at that point, it's just like, okay, let's just not do the gifts. Or if you aren't really into like gift giving or receiving, I think always a solution to that is to do like the white elephant or something and like make it fun in a game.
Yeah, or gift cards, because like for me, if anyone's going to get me a gift card and they want to be practical, like gas station gift cards, Wawa, Royal Farm, like Dunkin', like things that I'm going to spend my money, like I'm going to spend my money on.
I keep hearing you on this Dunkin' trend over and over and over again. Have I brought you to the good side?
Between you and my kids, yeah, I do love Dunkin'. Like they're really growing on me, but also with that being said, the Dunkin' that I've been going to gets it right more often than the other Dunkin' that's next to my office building that was never getting it right.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I think I found the Dunkin' that is making the drinks correctly.
Okay, well that makes sense.
World of a difference, game changer.
I feel like there's nothing worse when you have a taste in your mouth for something specific and then you go to get it, whether this could be like Dunkin', Starbucks, not enough ice in the cup at Chick-fil-A, changes the whole like dynamic of the drink taste.
Yep.
And then you get it and you're like, okay, this is specifically not what I was looking for.
Right. It was completely just not it.
Okay. When people say, I'll see you next year.
So corny. Ick.
I don't think that like that gives me the ick. And here's why. Because when I do goodbyes, like I'm not good at goodbyes, weird stuff, funerals, none of the things. So I'm definitely more of the type of person that feels more comfortable with the Irish goodbye.
What is an Irish goodbye?
You know, where it's just like you dip out.
See, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm also fine with people not speaking to me when I walk into a room, but if you date outside of your race, and that's not a thing. You can't do that.
What do you mean?
Like Javi's Hispanic, Elijah is Black. You can't in their cultures. You that's not a thing. Like they'll call you out. Like when you walk into a room, you speak, and when you leave, you say bye.
Oh no, ma'am.
Like I remember like specifically Javi and Joe's families, like you walk in, you give everyone a hug and a kiss on the cheek. When you leave, same thing. And then for Elijah's family, it's like everyone speaks when they walk in and everyone speaks when they leave. before they leave.
I mean, I'm probably just going to talk to the people that I'm getting along with at that moment.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
To be honest, like that's what's happening. Like if I'm not getting along with you, okay, I'm the worst about this actually. If I'm going somewhere and I know someone's going to be there that like I don't fuck with them, I will still go, but I am not saying hi or bye or anything.
I typically never would say that hi or bye either. I mean, it just wasn't, I just didn't.
Like I'm just not bothering you and just don't bother me, and it won't be weird if you don't make it weird.
Period. Traveling on Christmas, hated it. I did it. I don't think it necessarily gives me the ick, but it rains on my parade for Christmas. You know what I mean? Like that's just like not a fun time on Christmas.
I used to be the type of person that was going to be at home, like nobody bother us, like we're having a low key morning, like whatever. No, now I've just changed. This does not give me the ick at all. Please let me travel somewhere.
Yep. Eggnog is a no from me. It doesn't give me the ick, but I don't drink eggnog. I think I had it once when I was a kid at my friend's house, but I don't remember liking it, and I don't even know what the fuck is in eggnog.
I'm pretty sure there's like raw eggs in there.
That's disgusting.
I'm not a fan of eggnog either. Don't really need to go into much more detail about that. It does give me the ick. Absolutely.
Okay. What about pre-made gift baskets?
Depends on where it's pre-made from. So like if it's a good one.
Chocolate?
Like
a chocolate gift basket? I remember one time we were living at an apartment, 1225 West Street. I'll never forget. It was the top floor of the apartment, and my mom never had food in that apartment. Like when I say never had food, like literally would go across the street and get snacks from the corner store, and he wouldn't make me pay. I found this Godiva Ferrero Rocher chocolate gift basket that was like pre-made and like it had the cellophane wrap on it. I do not know who it came from or why my mom kept it like for years and years and years, but I was so hungry that I opened it and I ate this like years and years old chocolate Ferrero Rocher. And it was a chocolate gift basket. It was like pre-made.
Okay, I have seen those before now that you say that. I don't know. Like I don't think it gives me the ick, but it's also not something that like I love. I kind of like putting my own thing together because I've never seen a gift basket that I like everything that's in it.
Right. Like if you're going to do a gift basket, make it something that you do on your own, because then you know you can tailor it to whoever you are giving it to. Like I watched these TikToks where they did like a Friendsmas, and the girl does this every year. She gets all her friends the stockings, and then she goes out to like Target, Sephora, Ulta, and she gets them things that she knows they love. Like she even tailored the skincare products from like beauty stores to the friends that had like dry skin or oily skin or whatever. And she like literally personalized them, but she stuffed them all with the same stuff. But I thought it was so fucking cute.
No, see, like I love stuff like that. I feel like pre-made gift baskets, they have a place. Like if you're in a pinch, okay, but then that goes back to like the thoughtlessness of gifts. I prefer putting a gift basket together myself. The next one I love, unwrapped presents.
You love that?
Absolutely. I hate wrapping presents so much.
Okay, so what about gift bags? Like the gift bag and the tissue paper?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm more, I don't mind unwrapping gifts and like gift bags and tissue paper and stuff. I don't like wrapping gifts myself. And so unwrapped presents don't bother me. I wouldn't say that doesn't give me the ick though.
I mean, I'm not trying to give someone something that's unwrapped. Like it's at least coming in a bag. If I was a better gift wrapper and it was like something that I was really like thriving in and I could do my corners and like do the bow and all that shit, oh, I'm going to do it because I'm going to flex on you with something like that. But because I can't, I'm not doing it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, now we can talk about vitamins, and I've never felt better. I also think that contributes to why I feel so good lately. I recently added a magnesium supplement to my care of vitamins, And if you guys haven't heard us talk about Care of before, it's a subscription service that ships high quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month. And it's truly the season for celebrating. So really, you need to think about all the things you've accomplished this year, no matter how big or small, and maybe celebrate Care of. They want to help you celebrate all of those wins. And so if you reflect, maybe think about some goals or habits that you want to do for 2023, and vitamins should be one of them. I finally just decided, well, I guess not finally, it's been a little while since I decided to take them at night. I'm not forgetting. I don't have to grab them and go. I can if I want, and I can just grab a packet and just go on a trip for the number of days that I'm going to go. But I've really gotten into a routine with taking them, and I can change and update my goals for health anytime, which is really nice. It's like an online quiz. And like I said, I added magnesium supplements. So I highly recommend this. All you have to do is take an in-depth quiz. It's super quick, but it's about your lifestyle, your health goals, and then they will tailor your vitamins to what your goals are.
I absolutely love Care of. They also recently launched their gut must line, which I love. I tried it right away. And that's products for managing bloating, gas, indigestion, and weight. Gut health is foundational to your overall health and influences sleep, weight, immunity, and mood. And I love those products. Each shipment comes with a customized booklet. It's going to show you exactly what is in your individual daily packs and why it was recommended specifically for you and your health goals. And I love just knowing. I think knowledge is power. So if you guys would like to try Care of and join us for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code COFFEE50. For 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code COFFEE50. Okay. Last one, being asked what you want for Christmas and then someone telling you that they won't get it for you.
That's so dumb. That doesn't give me the ick, but it's like, don't even ask then. Don't ask. And then it's also like, am I ungrateful for saying it? And then expect, like, one year, I wanted name a gold or silver nameplate necklace. Like, I just wanted a necklace. You know the gold ones that say your name on them?
Oh, yeah.
When I was like 10, maybe, I wanted that so bad. That's the only thing I wanted for Christmas.
So
I didn't
cute.
want anything else. And again, we know Susie is not Mother of the Year ever. Didn't even try. And she went to Macy's and she got me a gold heart necklace. And I was just like, and this is me calling myself out. I was so ungrateful. And I was like so upset because you asked me what I wanted and I told you, and you couldn't even do you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't even. So on like one hand, it's like, don't ask if you can't deliver. And on the other hand, it's like, maybe be grateful regardless. I don't know.
Okay. So I do think that it's nice for someone to like want to get you something that
you want.
They like know that you're going to want and love. So I do think that that's fine. Someone telling you that they won't get it for you, that's totally Todd Chrisley written all over it, but he's also going to get it. And then he's also going to get you something else. Here's the thing. I don't want to judge the situation too much, because what if hypothetically you put things on your list that were out of this person's budget?
Okay, that is a different situation. Like, maybe start the conversation. Well, it also depends who we're talking about here. Like, if my mom came to me when I was like 10 and was like, hey, here's my budget. Well, then again, it's like, you can't put your financial issues on a child. Okay. So if it's me and you, and I'm like, hey, Lindsay, here's my budget. You know, is there something that you want within this budget? Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is fair, but this made me think of, I can't remember what year this was, might have been last year, that we were talking about trying to be mindful of putting together like wish list throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Was that us that talked about this?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it was. Someone told you about this. Like one of your friends or something told you about putting together a list of like your wants throughout the year. I'm certain that it's you. I'll have to go back and listen to like other holiday episodes. Anyway, I think it's a really good idea to
I think you're talking about when I said about throughout the year, like if you come across things that you know so-and-so will like, and then keeping it in like a bin or something like that for like that person's birthday or Christmas. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, that is what you said. Okay, well, I'm going to second that. I think that's a great idea in theory. Like if you're pre-planned like that. Unfortunately for me this year, I have not been pre-planned on anything, and I'm just like throwing the whole year away. Maybe I'll be better next year. I do think it's a good idea to use your notes on your phone. So if you run across something, just like pop it in there if it's something that you want. And it could be anything from like $5 to however much, just like a wish list of things. And then you can give that to someone if they ask. Like I love do an Amazon wish list or like gift ideas when people ask like, what can I get Jackson for Christmas, or what can I get him for his birthday or whatever, and just like send them the link to the list.
Okay.
And it has stuff on that list that literally ranges from like every price range.
Okay. That you could also, have loved ones make like Amazon wish lists in the beginning of the year and just like add stuff throughout the year. And then for birthdays or whatever holidays and stuff, you can pick stuff from your budget that works from their Amazon wish list.
Like, I think that is so smart.
While we're on the topic of like finances and Christmas and holidays, I came across this on someone's Facebook. They like reshared it. And then someone said, I cannot stress this enough. Stop telling your Santa age kids that their iPads, iPhones, and $200 toys are from Santa. Because some families can't afford that. Little kids wonder why they got socks or a coat or hand-me-down toys from Santa, and other kids got an iPad. This is the second year I've had a parent cry to me telling me that their kid asked if they weren't good enough or if Santa didn't like them as much. Breaks my heart for the parents and kids. So take credit for the gift. Santa didn't buy that iPad, mama or daddy did. Leave the less expensive gifts from Santa. Be blessed you can afford what others cannot. Merry Christmas. What are your thoughts on that?
So I kind of touched on it on the Southern Tea a little bit, but not like fully in depth. Will and I saw this several years ago and kind of adopted that because it is so true. And also I have like a love-hate with Santa. We talked about that. Like, I don't really give a fuck about him. So I'm already like lying about this fake person existing, and then he's gifting these very expensive items, and then your kid's going to school talking about how they got a PS5 from Santa and some other child got a winter coat. It just rubs the wrong way. And like why we didn't think of this before now, and why it took something that was posted on Facebook for it to register.
Sink in.
That's alarming in itself, but we very much do that now. So anything that's coming from Santa is going to be more of like clothing items, socks, new toothbrushes, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Anything else is specifically like Mimi and Papa bought that for you, Baba and Papa bought that for you, Dad got it, or I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am very like diligent when it comes to going back to school after Christmas, because you know that they have like circle time or they sit on the rug and talk about their holiday and whatever. I always have a conversation with Jackson on the ride to school, his first day back. What you share in circle time should not be about the gifts that you got for Christmas.
Oh, okay. I never thought of that. It should be about like maybe who you saw, what activities you did. Mm-hmm. Did you bake cookies? You know what I mean? Like, Okay. I kind of like that. I like that.
Yeah. I'm very like weird about that. And I never want another child to feel like they got slighted or less than because a financial situation that they're coming from looks different. I mean, that is life and it happens. But if you can say something to your kids that's so just easy, quick conversation to say, hey, you know, like when you go back to school and you guys are sitting in circle time and you're talking about your Christmas holiday, let's focus on the time that we got to spend with family and let's not focus the conversation around what we got.
Right. I love that. I definitely agree with that.
I saw this posted on Facebook and I wanted to talk to you about it because I think that you can very much relate and just wanted to get your take. Last week there were, well, really over the past couple of weeks, there have been some media headlines that have been distorted. Media headlining, this is an example. Lindsie Chrisley says it's best for separate holidays from parents. And that's absolutely not what I said. So this listener posted, I'm sharing this because this is exactly how the media twists celebs' words. I know we all listen to the podcast and that's not what she said. I made sure to comment on the article too, but now I get it. It's crazy how they take two words and make up a whole damn lie to fit their narrative to sell a story. Lindsie, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with the bullshit. That's literally not what I said.
I don't know. I know it's like a clickbait thing and I get that, but it's not fair when like people then turn around and actually believe it. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, because they're seeing that headline and they may not click.
What did you say?
I said that for the Thanksgiving holiday, I unfortunately had to make decisions as a mother over a daughter, and I was placed in a bad position. My parents' sentencing was just a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and I felt that it was in the best interest for us to give them that time to grieve, to process, to be able to focus on each other and not to be overwhelmed with having people in their home. And I talked about how Chloe is definitely the type of child that you can give an iPad or you can tell her to take a coloring book or a puzzle or whatever and go do it. And she's going to do it and she's going to be quiet and you won't hear a peep out of her. That is not Jackson. He is full throttle from the time that the child wakes up till the time that he goes to bed. And we've all been in situations where we have been stressed, and when you're trying to process like what your new normal is going to be, and it was just days ago, I feel like that's a stressful position.
Agreed. I definitely agree with you.
And who wants to be aggravated with other people being in their home, whether I'm their child and he's their grandchild or not?
Right.
So, you know, for a headline to be saying that I want to spend separate holidays or, you know, whatever, it's just so off-putting. And I'm just like, that's actually not
at all what I said, or, you know, couldn't be further from the truth.
I actually am leaving to go to Nashville on Friday. And then I'll be there until the day after Christmas and then come back home. I don't know about you, but holidays to me, the older I've gotten, the more stressed I've become. And I think it's just trying to juggle. And I do think that being a single mom definitely like has an impact on it, trying to juggle all the things and make sure that I've done everything that I'm supposed to do for my child, for work, for house, for the dog, to be able to even properly leave. I feel like you have to fully take a whole day for me to prepare to even be able to leave.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, between getting your house together, your dog, your kids, packing, getting to where you need to go, settling in over there. I mean, it's a whole process. It's a whole freaking process.
And when you don't have help, it's so hard. I'm like, at least when I was married, Will and I were probably arguing about, you know, like loading the car or whatever, but at least he was doing it.
Right. Right. At least he was getting the shit done. Now it's like, okay, now you have to allot yourself extra time to make sure that you're getting it done yourself.
Okay. This is from the Facebook group. It says, what would you guys do? This always alarms me immediately off the bat when someone asks what we would do. Cause like, I don't know if we should be giving advice, but I don't know that we shouldn't not be not giving advice. My stepkids and my 5-year-old have different spring breaks this year. It's legally our year. We've been planning and saving for a few days in Dallas. Their mom is also planning to take the other kids on a road trip. Do I pull our 5-year-old to go on vacation? Does my husband forfeit his week? Does he keep the schedule, move his vacation time, and we just go do local stuff and do Dallas in the summer? This is literally a worst nightmare situation for me. Like, I'm terrified of ever being in a situation like this.
This sucks because I've also been in a situation with Javi and Joe with the kids, especially in the beginning. Now I will forfeit I will forfeit whatever time it is for me for my kids. You really, really, really have to look at what is best for the child. And to me, listening to that situation is, I mean, I don't know. Is there a situation where the siblings can be together?
Well, I think she's saying that they could just go and do local stuff in Dallas. Does that mean that they all would be doing local stuff in Dallas? Because if that's the case, then I think that is the solution.
Agreed. Agreed.
But if that's not the case, it's so hard when you have blended families and when even like different school districts can be different holiday breaks. And so you could live super close and be in two different schedules. And that does make it so hard. So I don't know what the solution is to this because I've never ran into it. But I do think that you're correct in the sense of always do what's best for the kids over what's best for you.
Right. Like just because you want that picture of you guys together at Christmas, unfortunately, if that's not doable this year, then make another time, to get that family photo or, maybe celebrate Christmas on a different day so that you can get the photo. You know what I mean? Like because that used to be such an important thing for me was like, I want all my kids together at the same time. I really want a Christmas picture. Okay, well, you don't have to celebrate Christmas on Christmas. You don't have to celebrate fucking Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Like people have birthday parties on days other than their own birthday. So why are we not doing that for all holidays? Well, make it easier on everybody.
Remember how I was talking about last holiday time that you don't have to be dedicated to the day. Like you can celebrate it on another day outside of that.
Yep.
So I definitely believe in that as well. I will be celebrating Christmas with Jackson this week, but also after I get him back the day after Christmas. So we're going to do like a little thing at my house, early Christmas present, like one. And then he'll do Christmas with his dad, whatever. And then I will just do like our Christmas morning the following morning whenever I get him. So I will say also a point to this. If the child's 5 years old, he or she's only going to be that age for however long. So that in this specific year, I used to be very weird about like pulling Jackson out of school for anything and wanting him to have perfect attendance because my parents always like preached about how you should, like, I used to get awards for like having perfect attendance in school. And
I got that in 4th grade.
Oh, you got it 1 year. Good for you, Glen Coco.
You go, Glen Coco.
You go, Glen Coco. At 5 years old, if I was in this situation just this specific year, I would be like, you know what? Because I want to do this and everybody can go, I'm going to pull my 5-year-old out of kindergarten because we can do alphabet and reading and all the things that they were doing inside the class. And I will like create centers wherever we are and we can do that. Now, that would not be my same mindset if we were having this conversation 3 years ago.
Right. Because in the beginning, it's hard. Obviously, it's not the same. So understandably so.
I saw this. We had talked about our word of the year.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to piggyback off of that. Both of us, peace. And I think that is so fitting where both of our lives currently are. This was a quote: prioritize your peace, practice being calm when you feel like you're being challenged or tested. Overreacting only creates regret. Take a few hours or days for things to clear out. Be emotionally intelligent so that you can be in the right state of mind to make better choices. I need to hang that somewhere because when I read it, it makes me feel calm. And I know that I have victimized people by not being calm because I haven't taken hours or days to clear things out, which speaks to my emotional intelligence. So
I also want to add the word present. I want to be present. I want to make effort and be intentional this year. So peace and present are both my words. And I think it kind of fits into that. But you could also make it your background to your lock screen or your wallpaper on your phone because the more you see it and the more you read it, the more you'll believe it.
That's where you come in and say you're manifesting this.
You're manifesting it. That's why Buddha is my lock screen, or not my lock screen, my home screen on my phone. I know a lot of people do like family pictures of their pets. Buddha has been my background for probably 3 years now. And it just reminds me, like, that's where I want to be. I want to be calm, cool, and collected. I want to be at peace with my decisions. I want to make better decisions. I want good karma. I want other people to have good karma. That's why Buddha has been my background for 3 or 4 years now.
I love that so much.
Coffee Convos podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. We just talked about the holidays, and because this was a heavy holiday episode, I do want to stress to you guys that this can be a really rough time for people between managing family dynamics, racing from this event to that event, and just it being dark and cold super early. Having someone to talk to about how you're feeling can truly be a gift. So give that gift to yourself and get some help through BetterHelp.
We literally have talked about struggling with everything that you just said this holiday season. I love how so many of our listeners have shared their BetterHelp journey with us and telling us how much they love it. If you guys have not heard of BetterHelp, they are the world's largest therapy service, and BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists 100% online. Plus, added bonus, it is affordable. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to match you with a therapist, and sometimes things don't click. So if it's not clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It could not be simpler. You're not going to deal with any waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/coffee. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/coffee.
This time of year, we're cooking more, we're eating more, and there's a lot more waste, especially food waste. And I don't know about anybody else listening, but it's been really hard for me to compost, learning how to do it. It just felt like a lot of work. But this year I got a Lomi, which allows me to turn my food scraps into dirt at the push of a button. And you guys know I love my plants, so I'm able to use it in my plants, and it's been really awesome. Thankfully, with the use of Lomi, I've been able to turn like 4 bags of trash to 1. It's amazing. I love it. And since I got it, I just throw out way less trash and obviously less going to landfills. So I love that.
I absolutely love mine as well. I'm so glad that you introduced me to this. I have also put this on a list for a couple of people for upcoming gifts that I know will also love it. Lomi is a countertop electric composter that turns scraps into dirt in under 4 hours. And something that's super impressive about it is there is no smell when it runs, and it's really quiet, which I did not expect. And I think that this is such an amazing way to start making positive environmental impact. So if you want to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/coffee combos and use the promo code coffee combos to get $50 off your Lomi. That's $50 off when you head to lomi.com/coffee combos and use promo code coffee combos at checkout. Food waste is gross. Lomi is your solution. With the holidays just around the corner, Lomi will make the perfect gift for someone on your shopping list. We don't have a ton of time left, and I know that we had said that we were going to discuss the Idaho murders. I'm going to let you kind of lead that. I feel very overwhelmed with the amount of information that's out there. I know for us in this coverage, we're only going to address the official timeline, and it's the one that is circulating in mainstream media. We're going to keep up with the case via TikTok, which we very much have. If you guys saw our group chat of all of the TikToks, trying to uncover new clues, all the surveillance footage, the theories, we can give comments on those because definitely watching those. But I do, and I know that Kail also wants to be very diligent about spreading any type of misinformation, because just because it's on TikTok doesn't mean that it's correct.
Right. And I know that listeners have definitely written into us and said, like sometimes we jump the gun on topics, and it's just because, we are passionate about this and we don't always gather the facts completely. So we don't want to do that, especially with this. It is very sensitive. So I'm just reading the timeline that is circulating on mainstream media that is in the news. So I'm going to start with, and actually I probably know less than Lindsie and Kristen. So Saturday, November 12th is Goncalves' final Instagram post. She posted a series of cheerful pictures on Instagram with the caption, quote, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." In one of the photos, is it supposed to be Mogan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In one of the photos, Mogan sits on one of the girls' shoulders as Chapin and Kernodle stand next to them smiling. That's probably the picture that I think most people have seen. That's the one that I'm the most familiar with.
Same as well.
And that night, the two girls hung out at Corner Club, a downtown bar on Main Street, while Chapin and Kernodle went to a party together in the Sigma Chi or Sigma Chi. Is it Sigma Chi or
Sigma Chi?
Oh, okay. I'm way off. Thank you. Sigma Chi House on Nez Perce Drive on campus, and that's according to police. The very next day, Sunday, November 13th, two victims are spotted at Grub Truck. Mogan and Goncalves, I hope I'm saying these right, are captured on a Twitch live stream at 1:41 a.m. At the Grub Truck in downtown Moscow, where they ordered carbonara and chatted with people. A man wearing a hoodie standing near them became the subject of intense online speculation, but police later said he's actually not a suspect. And then they have pictures of, from the camera, maybe like screen grabs. And it says a sorority driving service got them home about 1:56 a.m., according to police and family. Chapin and Kernodle returned home from Sigma Chi at about 1:45 a.m. The two female roommates who survived the attack returned home from their night out around 1 a.m. and didn't wake up until late the next morning. Olivia Goncalves told Inside Edition that her sister Kaylee called her ex-boyfriend Jack 7 times between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44 a.m. Police have cleared him as a suspect. So I just want to say, in my own opinion, when I first heard about all of this, the two surviving roommates, I thought did it.
Oh, that's what we all thought.
Okay, so I'm not alone in that.
I'm not going to speak for the listeners who are listening, but I do think that Kristen and I have had conversations about that. Obviously when it's a roommate situation and there are survivors, I think from just a logical standpoint, you're going to want to rule those people out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, to me, they're automatically going to be a suspect until they're not.
Were they ever a suspect? Or were they not?
Kristen, they just questioned the roommates, right? Yeah. So the police have not named a single suspect thus far, which
go ahead,
is insane because, you would at least think that there would be something with 4 people being involved. You would think there would be something.
Well, it feels weird going into 2023 with all the technology and the surveillance, and everyone has Ring doorbells. Everyone has cameras between the Life 360 app, Find My Friends app, Snapchat locations, IP addresses, cell phone towers pinging. Between all of those things, technology, they solve the Skylar, what was her last
Richardson?
name? Skylar. No. There was another Skylar who was stabbed to death by 2 of her best friends in the woods, and they solved the case, I want to say almost a year later, because the cell phone towers were pinging and the car was spotted on surveillance cameras, right? So it just feels weird going into 2023 and having all of this technology and information and, some witnesses and this, that, and the third, and we can't solve it. I just don't understand how anyone could have gotten away with this.
The fact that it's been over a month and there's still not been a suspect, it's truly mind-blowing to me. I have always said, since we have been talking about crime, that I think it's wild that people are brazen and bold enough to even do it at this point, even if you have the tendency to want to because of technology.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just weird to me that anyone would think they could get away with it. You're bold enough to try, and then somehow you've beat the system. I mean, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So the murders, the 4 victims were stabbed to death with a fixed blade knife between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. on the second and third floors of the home, according to police. The murder weapon has not been recovered. Is this person or people that did this, are they shitting their pants, or do they think that they're not going to get caught because it's been a month?
I mean, I almost feel like the longer that time passes, the more they feel like they're not going to get caught. But potentially because of that mindset, it could catch them because they might not be as careful as they originally were.
Right. Okay, so a call to 911 was placed from one of the surviving roommates' phones at 11:58 a.m. from inside the residence, reporting an unconscious person. Police said multiple people spoke to the dispatcher. So is this when they first woke up? So
the roommate that had survived, they thought that the person passed out. Isn't that right, Kristen?
Yes, it says that's what they were reporting when they called 911, was an unconscious person. But if they were, the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm reading this is, if someone was stabbed to death, there's got to be blood everywhere. There's blood fucking everywhere. So why are we calling 911 to report an unconscious person? Like, that just seems off to me. So did it actually happen, or we're not sure why they said that? Or maybe was it just worded differently? Because like you said earlier in the episode, sometimes things are twisted and said out of context, or you know what I mean?
Well, for sure. So at 2 p.m.
unconscious feels weird.
2 p.m. that Sunday, the university notified students of the homicide and told them shelter in place. First of all, I just want to tell you that if I was in college and this happened on my campus, I immediately would go home.
It's so weird to me that 4 fucking people were murdered and 2 people were still alive inside the home, and nobody, this is a campus, whether it's on campus or off campus. I'm sure so many people have been in college areas where, I mean, how does nobody have information? How is nobody coming forward? It says Monday, November 14th, there are conflicting accounts. Mayor Art, I don't want to butcher his last name, told a news outlet that the slayings were a crime of passion before backtracking in a statement to Fox News Digital, saying that it was one of several potential motives being probed by investigators. I do, however, believe that, in my personal opinion, when you stab someone to death, that is a crime of passion. Like, you're not going to just, I don't know. That's my opinion. It says police said that they did not believe there was an ongoing risk to the community based on information gathered during the preliminary investigation, which again leads me back to believe that this could be a crime of passion.
I don't know, though, because in a stabbing, I do believe stabbing 4 people, that is, in my opinion, crime of passion. But
yeah,
could it be also that there was some type of premeditation that went into this? Like, why would the person just randomly be walking around with a knife and choose these 4 people? Like, there is something more to this that we do not know.
100%.
Like, you're going to tell me that someone just goes into these kids' home, stabs 4 of them, not 2 of them. There wasn't some type of premeditation. There absolutely, in my opinion, has to be.
Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay, so before we got on this podcast today, I called Kristen and I'm like, hey, like, I need to know what budgeting I have for finances on certain things. And I'm super concerned about next year and inflation and all of that. And inflation has us all really thinking about different ways to cut back. So whether it's driving less, dining out less, which is both for me, or maybe it's buying less groceries, we can all kind of agree that there's nothing fun about less. And that's why we started using Upside. Kristen told us about this months ago, and it's an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out, which is pretty much all of us. And with Upside, we don't really have to cut back because we get cash back with every purchase. And that's really nice.
I have literally shared Upside with so many people, and so many of my personal friends who listen to the podcast have thanked me for sharing upside. I think that it is absolutely great. And anytime that you are getting cash back on every purchase, it's a yes for me. I used this whenever I got gas yesterday, and I absolutely love it. If you guys want to try it, to get started, you just download the free Upside app, use our promo code Coffee Combos, and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, you're going to claim your offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week, and that's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Download the free Upside app and use promo code Coffee Combos to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code Coffee Combos.
Tuesday, November 15th, there's backlash from the community. In another statement, police told the public this was an isolated, targeted attack, and there is no imminent threat to the community at large, which I do believe that. Moscow residents, students, and victims' families complained about the limited and contradictory information being released by public officials. Unfortunately, I do think that this is probably very common, and I'm not shocked by that. But I do think it comes with the crime. Like, people are going to have different, not only perspectives, but they probably are going to get different information from different places, depending on who they speak to.
I think unless you're in the community where something like this is going on, your mindset's going to look very different as a member of that community where this has happened than us talking about it on Coffee Combos podcast. When you're talking about public officials, you do hold them to a certain standard for them to be providing information that is vetted information and not just salacious potential hearsay. So for there to be contradictory information that's being released by public officials, I think I would be pissed also.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have a right to be pissed, but I'm also not shocked that they are pissed about it. Wednesday, November 16th, new details emerge. At a press conference, Moscow Police Chief James Fry revealed to reporters for the first time that there were 2 female roommates at the home during the horrific attack, and they were unharmed. Fry did not identify the 911 caller or offer an explanation for the call coming in more than 8 hours after the flayings. There were no signs of forced entry, he added. Okay, so I do want to touch on this because it says that there's no explanation for the call coming in 8 hours, but everyone was out late. This is a college area. That doesn't surprise me that maybe they woke up late. However, if someone's getting stabbed, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsie, there were 2 people in one bed on one floor and then 2 people in another bed on the other floor.
Yes, I believe that is true. I will say this is
no signs of forced entry.
This was at the point on this day that I was like, it has to be the other roommates have to have involvement. That's where I started feeling that way.
Because the math isn't mathing. The 8 hours thing, I mean, I just recently slept until 2:00, and nobody woke me up. Nobody came and got me. And I woke up and was like, why, what the fuck? I would not, I slept so hard until almost 2:30, to the point where I would not have heard anything in my own home. So that I feel like can be a little bit explained, especially if there's drinking involved. They went out late, they partied, and then they're all on different floors. So that maybe, but if you're sleeping next to somebody in bed, one of them is bound to wake up, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think college students, because I've been one, just have like weird patterns of behavior anyway. So like nothing as grown adults at 33 am I going to be able to make sense of like timing and stuff like that and the way that they do things. I'm probably not going to think any of that is a red flag because I knew how I was in college. Mm-hmm. The things that were red flags to me was the no forced entry. That was a red flag.
But also, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I used to leave my doors unlocked all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in a college house where there's 6 young adults, like they might not have locked the doors. So, I mean, I could go either way. Like, I could see why it would be, pointing the finger at the other roommates, because that's exactly what I did. But also I could see, if they're, maybe it was a cheating situation. I don't know. I should not make assumptions. Okay. It says he walked back earlier. Oh, hold on. Did I not read? There was no signs of forced entry. He added, he walked back earlier assertions that the crime posed on, he walked back earlier assertions that the crime posed no ongoing danger in the community. He said, quote, "We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there." He said, "We cannot say there is no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant." He added that the FBI and the Idaho State Police were assisting in the investigation. And then on Thursday, November 17th, the coroner releases autopsy findings. The student's cause and manner of death were officially ruled homicide by stabbings in a press release issued by Lada County Coroner Kathy Mabbitt. And she said the victims were likely ambushed in their sleep with a large knife and had multiple stab wounds. So my thought is that this is probably not one person, because you can't stab two people at once. And if they're in the same bed, one of them's going to wake up and try to escape. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, suggesting they awoke during the attack. There were no signs of sexual assault. Friday, November 18th, police released an aerial map plotting the final movements of the four victims from the evening of November 12th to the time of their murders. Police also asked the public to submit tips and surveillance footage. I mean, I would imagine that going through a ton of surveillance is going to take hours, if not days. Monday, November 21st, police dismissed potential connection between skinned dog and murders. An Australian shepherd found skinned and
filleted.
Is that filleted? I didn't know it was spelled like that. Okay. An Australian shepherd found skinned and filleted 3 weeks before the killings isn't related to the homicide. Detectives also revealed for the first time that Goncalves dog Murphy was inside the home when the students were killed. And
wait, can we back up for a second?
Sure.
I think this is also very common when the media is running everything on this, just like in a constant, there's so many updates, so much stuff that's been on TikTok, like all these things, right? I think that it's very common when you don't have answers that you try to start linking other stuff that has happened to potentially this when you just don't have answers. So you're just like trying to latch on to anything to make it make sense.
Like grasping at straws, basically. Tuesday, November 22nd, people are asking, did Kaylee have a stalker? Police said in a press release that they pursued hundreds of pieces of information related to the topic and have not been able to identify or verify the identity of a stalker. Detectives later said they looked into an incident in which a man followed her around a store in mid-October, but called it an isolated incident.
Well, I would also
I don't know why.
I would also call this stabbing of these four students an isolated incident as well.
Right. So could it potentially be linked? I don't know. Friday, November 25th, nearby stabbings unrelated to Moscow quadruple homicide. A 1999 double stabbing in nearby Pullman, Washington, and the 2021 double stabbing in Salem, Oregon did not appear to be connected to the King Road murders. And Idaho Governor Brad Little also announced that $1 million in state emergency funds would go toward the ongoing investigation. Tuesday, November 29th, vehicles towed from the crime scene. 5 vehicles were towed from the King Road home to a city lot to be stored. They were previously searched and are still part of the crime scene. Wednesday, November 30th, so we're coming up on just under a month ago, hundreds gathered for a vigil at the University of Idaho, and the families of 3 of the 4 victims addressed the community in heart-wrenching statements. Steve Goncalves, Kaylee's father, revealed for the first time that she and Mogan were sleeping in the same bed when they were stabbed to death. Meanwhile, the lack of a coherent message from public officials sowed further confusion. Ladau County Prosecutor Bill Thompson said one of the victims was undoubtedly targeted in an interview. Okay, so
my question is, if one of one of them were targeted. Why did you kill the other three? Was it because, and then that leads me to believe that maybe it wasn't one individual acting alone, because it goes back to your statement of, wouldn't the others wake up and have some type of defense against, like, three people defending themselves against one person? I mean, I'm not saying that that's what was happening, but the likelihood of three people being able to survive if one has been stabbed and there's only one person there that's doing the stabbing, like, wouldn't you think that one of them would have gotten away, or like something?
Yes, that's what my thought was, because think about it. If you walk into a room where two people are sleeping, say, you know, where Steve said that Kaylee and her roommate were in the same bed, if someone next to me is being stabbed, not only does stabbing take an incredible amount of strength, but I would imagine from the amount of true crime that I watch, it's exhausting. How did he or she stop the other person from leaving the room? And then, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels weird. It doesn't feel like it could have been a one-person job, personally, is my thought on it.
I mean, watching a lot of true crime stuff, I think that sometimes if it's targeted and there would be a witness there, they're also going to kill that other person, not because they've targeted them necessarily, but because they were there and they don't want them to tell. So I get that. But like, one person being able to do this to four people,
it doesn't feel likely.
Mm-mm.
So continuing on, hours later, the Moscow Police Department called Thompson's comment a miscommunication and said they had not officially deemed the murders a targeted crime. The next day, police clarified that they continue to believe that the attack was targeted. Police released a list of people they do not believe are involved in the crime. The two surviving roommates, the man in the grub truck, surveillance footage, the driver who took Mogan and Goncalves home, Goncalves' ex-boyfriend, and any individual at the King Road home when the 911 call was made, and the sixth student who was on the lease had moved out months earlier.
See, immediately, I don't know why. I've got to ask Kristen her thoughts on this as well. I'm automatically thinking I need to make sure without a shadow of a doubt that it is not the two roommates, but like the other one that moved out. Like, I need to know all the details on why they moved out. Like, was there any strife there? Was there like beef and that's why they moved out? Like, I would need to know every bit of that information, because those are the people that I'm think of first.
I don't know why I agree with you on that. I also don't know why I feel like this could be like a cheating / love triangle / like, there's just so many things that it could be that could make sense. I'm still not convinced that the other two roommates, because why go up to the third floor to kill those people but not go to the first floor to kill those two people?
I know. Makes no sense.
And they were home for it just is weird. Steve Goncalves told Fox News Digital that the family was frustrated over the police's lack of transparency and the progress of the investigation. There seems to be confusion everywhere you look, he said. It's just absurd, the kind of stuff that's going on right now. And I definitely understand his frustration, but everyone's human. And so there's a lot of room for human error. And it's also such a crazy case that I don't understand. I mean, you don't want them to mess up and you don't expect them to mess up, but it almost is like expected, you know?
Well, my thoughts on that specifically is, you know, you aren't the police, and as frustrated as you can be with an investigation, they also can't give you everything that you want when you want it also. And so
right.
The way that they work might look very different than the thought process of a parent,
the father of the victim. Right.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that.
And there, who knows if there's other cases going on at the same time. I mean, obviously, maybe not to this magnitude, but they also still have to do everyday stuff too. And, you know, that's the unfortunate part of it. Well, part of the unfortunate part. They've messed up a million times, he said. Wednesday, December 7th, police asked for information about a vehicle seen near the crime scene. Police asked the public for help tracking down a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra spotted near the crime scene and around the time of the murders. Quote, investigators believe the occupants of this vehicle may have critical information to share regarding this case, which is weird because why haven't they come forward already? Like, that should have been a no-brainer. Like, I would be calling if I drove that to immediately clear my name, you know, in any connection to this.
I wonder if the thought process of this person, like them not coming forward, which is sketch also, but would they think they would automatically be considered a suspect if they came forward, even if they were coming forward innocently?
Do we not know by now that whether you're innocent or guilty, you need to contact a lawyer first? Do we not know that? That's not common knowledge across the board for everything?
Listen, if I was driving a white Hyundai Elantra and found out that there was 4 murders that had taken place and I was in the general vicinity and somebody saw my car, absolutely don't care. I'll get a public defender. Like, do not care.
I literally would get an attorney immediately and want my name cleared. And I have watched enough true crime and police investigation to know that even when you're innocent, you need a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, December 12th, Steve Goncalves, I hope I'm saying that right, for the love of God, describes daughter's injuries, calls police cowards. In an exclusive interview with Fox News Digital, Steve said the victims had big open gouges and called police cowards for not sharing more with the public. His daughter's injuries definitely did not match Mogan's wounds.
See, I do think that's important information.
That is important information because I think, again, going back to whether it's a crime of passion or not, the person who is a target is probably going to have different wounds than someone that they're just killing as a witness.
His quote, they may have individually died from the exact same thing, being stabbed, but there are more details. They're not even close to matching, to me, indicates one thing. That
she was the target.
It could be the one person that had the worst wounds could have been targeted, or that person could have been the one fighting back and the other didn't. Or if the wounds specifically didn't match and like the patterns and stuff looked different, does this mean that there could have been multiple stabbers?
Yep. I think there were multiple, perpetrators?
Perps.
On December 12th, the family, along with their newly hired attorney, Shannon Gray, met with police and other officials in Moscow to share their concerns over missteps in the investigation. December 13th, cops pull hours of footage from the gas station. Detectives collected 8 hours of surveillance video from gas station in Moscow, where a clerk saw the white sedan pass by at 3:45 a.m. on the morning of the murders. I would also be curious to know were there a ton of cars out? Were there not? Is this the only one that stuck out? The clerk told Fox News Digital that she had been reviewing the tapes a little bit at a time over the past few days, looking for clues in her downtime. Police haven't commented on whether the white car is the same Hyundai Elantra that they are seeking. But on December 18th, new video shows 2 victims with a man before the murders. A Facebook group dedicated to the Idaho murders exclusively shared haunting surveillance footage with Fox News Digital that showed Goncalves and Mogan hours before they were killed. The best friends were walking in downtown Moscow with a man who looks like the same student in the hoodie seen in the video. Moments later, standing near them, they ordered pasta from the grub truck. The women are discussing someone named Adam, who the Goncalves family lawyer said is a bartender. Authorities are asking anyone with information about the murders to contact 208-883-7180 or tip line at ci.moscow.id.us. So that is the official full-blown timeline that has been released and has not been updated.
We need to talk to Kristen to figure out how we can post the links, because there are so many TikToks, to post the links of the stuff on TikTok, because I felt like it was pretty simple to follow on there from TikTok, but also there's so much information on there that you don't know if it is accurate or if it's not accurate, which is why I like the timeline like this.
Right, because this is from an official news source. So yeah, I know that TikTok is also full of conspiracies sometimes.
Agreed. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. If we missed anything and you want to let us know about it, then always put it in the official Facebook page, the Kitty Gang Telegram app, or you can also send us a message on Instagram. If you guys have not followed the show, make sure that you do that by searching Coffee Convos Podcast on the Purple Podcast app. Type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, leave us a written review. You can find us on Spotify, pretty much any other podcast app, wherever you get your podcast, and always first at Podcast One. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
All month long on Pluto TV, stream the biggest Tyler Perry movies free. Watch your favorites like Medea's Witness Protection and Medea's Big Happy Family. Join Tyler Perry as he goes on a couples retreat with Sharon Leal in Why Did I Get Married? Or Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union in the Tyler Perry directed film Daddy's Little Girls. Plus, Pluto TV has hundreds of channels with thousands more movies and TV shows. Available on live and on demand. Download the free Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming now. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.